So yes, sir. So what we've done is we've done a IPO analysis on Mankind Pharma, which they recently did a IPO recently, which was a offer for sale. So going into the details, like we know about Mankind Pharma, which was a pharmaceutical industry that started in 1991,
तो
and
मुकुंद,
they are the fourth
आप कहाँ,
largest.
where are you from? Which place are you from? I mean, you are from south or I mean north?
South. We are both
South.
from South, sir.
Okay, okay. I thought you were speaking in Tamil when you started. I couldn't get your what you.
Yes, sir. We do speak Tamil.
You know we speak Tamil. I know. But अभी जब आपने शुरू करा, I thought you were speaking in Tamil. Okay. तो ठीक है, शुरू करो दोबारा से. I mean.
Also. So let me start. So like about Mankind Pharma being the fourth largest manufacturer in India right now with a huge brand of medicines and also products, other products like other personal hygiene products. They are one of the largest pharmaceutical company right now. Now they even operate in US providing proprietary medicines with FDA approval as well.
Okay.
So looking into they have a good track record with really huge growth and everything. And looking into details about, so this is their brand. So these are the brands that they have and what are their 5-year revenue
Okay.
and their growth. So looking at built issue, but it was an offer for sale of
Okay.
4.1 crore, 4 crores, 1 lakh shares, which was valued around 43 to 43,000, sorry, not
Four
43,000,
thousand three twenty six
4,336.
crores. Yeah.
And the bidding started on April last year, 23, and it ended on April 27, 2023. And the
Okay.
allotment was finalized on Wednesday, the May 3rd, and it was listed in the Bombay Stock Exchange and the National Stock Exchange on 9th May. So looking into what was their objective in terms of this when they brought this IPOs, that they wanted to carry out an offer for sale for around the 40,058,844 equity shares which the promoters were having. They wanted to liquidate it. So the thing is that one,
What happened?
so just a minute. I think it's a text from my dad. I don't know. Oh, so yeah. So I think objects of the IPO would be Chokalingham's role. Yeah.
Yeah, so the primary objective of the IPO were twofold. So, first, to allow the selling shareholders to monetize their stake through the offer for sale of over 40 million shares. Second, to enhance the company's visibility and brand by listing it on public exchanges. And it's important to note that Mankind Pharma itself did not receive any proceeds from the IPO. Instead, the funds went to selling shareholders. This strategy provided liquidity while strengthening the company's public market presence.
Okay, this was 100% offer for sale.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Mankind Pharma. Okay, so just hold on with this slide. So this was, some odd number of shares offered for sale. Issue size was 4,100 to 4,300. Number of shares were given. Face value was 1 rupee. Okay. Price band was, above 1,000. Bid loss 13 shares. Post issue implied market cap was 41,000 crores. Okay. And the lead managers was Axis Bank, Kotak Bank, JP Morgan, Jefferies. Okay, issue open on 25th. Okay, and indicative timetable is given. Okay, now go ahead, please.
So now this slide talks about the issue details which you read,
Yeah.
and looking into like what and all the compliance which they were able to accomplish. They were able to like the net tangible assets which was 3 crores annually, and next was profitability which was exceeding by 1,433 crores, and the net worth was well above 1 crore.
Okay.
So total equity is also worth more than 6,500 crores. The public shareholding, they offered 40 million, ensuring compliance. And the next is that their offer size, total IPO size was 4,326 crores. And these are all they weren't into any default or any regulatory violations. So they were able to fulfill all SEBI requirements. They had really strong financials, profitability ratios, compliance, which was this is a really successful IPO in overall. And
Okay.
also this enhances, as Chokalingam said, it enhances visibility, brand value, and like provides liquidity for the exiting shareholders as well.
So yeah,
So the market reaction on the listing day.
market market reaction on the listing day. So on its listing day, Mankind Pharma opened strong at rupees 1,215 per share. So reflecting an 11 to 12% premium. So over the upper price band. So this performance highlighted strong investor demand and confidence in the company's fundamental. So even amid sector volatility. So post-listing fluctuations. Wait, back,
Okay, just hold on, just hold on. I think
Oh, sorry.
I require some,
So
just a sec.
post-listing fluctuations were
Okay, just hold on because I think I have got some issues here with regard to net, so I'm just moving to a different place so that I can hear you. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
So what I'm doing is
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm
I
just
will.
changing my place. I'm just going to the ground floor so that the net is very powerful there. So maybe that I'm facing some technical issues. So be online. Okay.
So now you are breaking, sir.
No, no, don't break. I mean, it will improve as I go near to the source, so it will be much better. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Prachana, no, right. Sir,
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I can hear you now.
all good, sir? Yeah.
We are just coming back, so I just changed now. Yeah. So we can start here from here only. Yeah.
So yeah, so market reaction on listing day. So on its listing day, Mankind Pharma opened strong at rupees 1,215 per share. So reflecting an 11 to 12% premium over the upper price band. So this performance highlighted strong investor demand and confidence in the company's fundamental, even amid sector volatility. So post-listing fluctuations were observed, which is typical for high demand IPOs. So this shows the company adopted a calculated pricing strategy. So next, let's talk about how the IPO funds were utilized. So the IPO was structured as an offer for sale, meaning the company didn't raise fresh capital. Instead, existing shareholders sold their shares to new investors. So this allowed promoters to reduce their stake by 2.51%, creating liquidity without diluting the company's overall equity.
So what is
So,
the promoter share now? I mean, after this IPO?
sir, it is explained in the next slide, sir.
Okay,
It will
okay.
be explained.
Sure.
Yes, sir. So,
So next, looking into like strategic goals and alignments of the Mankind Pharma because of this IPO structure for this IPOs, that the IPO, the offer for sale, like it creates a visibility in the market and also liquidity, which was crucial for attaining the long-term goals of the company. And also the strategic thing is that it wasn't in order to create any direct funding, like especially to invest into the company itself, but instead it was a tool to gain market access and also like create a better positioning among the competitors in the future. and also they wanted to make sure that they were able to, like, good, go into future expansion as well. And the growth path is that it's not directly capitalize these funds, but as I said, and this was just strong foundational advantages for its growth and market positioning, just a strategic decision mostly. So looking into financial details, so these are the financial details of both Mankind Farm for Mankind Pharma. So the revenue, just a minute.
Hmm.
So the revenue was 18 point. They have a 18.1% growth every year, year-on-year growth in terms of revenue, and also EBITDA has been growing 33.3% year-on-year,
Hmm.
which due to the fact that which is due to the fact that their raw materials cost has been reducing right now. Since
Okay.
the last year, that's been reducing a lot, and also the profit after taxes also has been growing to more than 48% in the year on year.
Hmm. So it has gone up from 1,000 crores to what 2,000 crores, almost 1,942 crores. Okay.
Yes, sir. It is in the
And
past
how was
four
the
years.
EPS? How was the EBITDA margin? You said 25% remained almost steady, around 25, 26, 27%. Okay. And what was the EPS? How is it growing?
So the EPS has been growing substantially because at the start of the for the financial year of 2020, it starts at 25.7 and ends at 30.5.
Okay. And which year they came with the IPO?
2023, sir.
23.
2023. Okay. So they have done very well after the IPO. From 32,
So
they have
yes, so
gone
post
to.
IPO performance has been really well. Even currently, their company has been growing a lot in terms of their share price alone. Looking at
Okay.
their share price alone.
So this is based out of where? I mean, Mankind. Is it somewhere down south, or it is somewhere north, or is it
Not, sir.
north
It's
only?
not.
Not so.
Okay. 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 Fine. Next.
So looking into net cash and return on equity and return on capital employed, it has been also really well, except for the fact that return on capital employed has been reduced in the since like post IPO.
Okay,
It
so
has been
it has
reduced
come to
from like
29%. Of course, what happens is that the return on capital or return on equity gets streamlined or stabilized over the time when the company grows bigger and bigger. So they can't have such a big like 41%, 40%. So they have come down to quite a decent one to about 29%, which is looks to be okay,
Yes.
which is very
yes.
good. I would say ROE.
Yes, the drop was a lot in 23, but 24 has been good. And also, it goes same for the return on capital employed as well. It has increased substantially in 24.
Yeah, yeah, fine. So, and what about the capex? They have put the capex in. Major capex was put in to 2022, isn't it?
Yes, sir. From
Just
20 to.
just before the IPO, a year before the IPO. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So their main job was to pull out money, because they had the promoters might have put a lot of money there. So before that, there was no public holding. So all the money was coming from the people who started the business.
Yes.
Okay.
It was mostly out of their pocket expenses out for this company.
So that makes a logic, because they had spent a lot of money in 2022 and the company has started doing well thereafter. So they were just, encashing their returns, what they have put the company. How big was this? 4,000 crores, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Because that means they put 2,000 crores in that year and then took out 4,000 crores in the next year.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Technically.
Fine.
And this was the growth trajectory year. So this is like they have a revenue has been growing 50% CAGR, 13% in terms of domestic revenue alone, and exports was 81%. Because once they post IPO, the exports to USA have been really increasing. It was a huge boom for them
Okay,
since they
okay.
got the approval from the
So
FDA.
then most of the business is coming from USA basically, isn't it? Their major customers like there only, is it?
No, sir.
Sir,
It's
no,
in
sir. Their
India.
majority is in domestic market only. They are making
Okay.
9,000.
97,
Okay, so
97%.
813 crores is that? Is that figure?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
It is in terms of crores.
so what is the total turnover? I mean, they were having 9,000 crores. Okay, domestic revenue. Okay,
Total turnover is
10,000
10,355
crores. Okay,
crores.
okay. So only just a fraction of money is coming from exports.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Sir, but
Fine.
the thing is that their export has been really increasing. We can see even further growth this year also. We can
Yeah,
expect that.
it's going very at a very fast trajectory. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
yeah. ठीक है.
And also EBITDA and margin percentage has also been increasing every year, and also profit after taxes
Okay, okay.
based on the chart.
So, ठीक है. So, Mukund, all these numbers now you're just reading and understanding. So, was this course quite useful in understanding all this for you, or is it?
So yes, sir, it
Yes, of
is.
course.
Yes. So, what
I
was?
mean,
Yeah.
before this, when I wasn't highly into like going into investing and stuff.
Huh.
The thing is that every time once I come after classes, I just slowly look into what I've done, and based on that, look at the insights and also look at other stocks as well.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I've been doing to create a better understanding. And this course has been really, really helpful. So, in
And what
terms of
about you, Chokalingam?
Yes, the same for me. Like this has been very useful. Like I've just got more about like investment side. I just got more info. Like
Okay.
I just
Great.
gained a lot of interest.
Sure. Good. So, go ahead, please.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So next
So,
time, Chokalingam.
so
So
coming
this
to
valuation analysis, I think you have used this template, which you done for one of your projects, class assignment
yes,
also.
sir. This is
So,
one
so,
of the thing which you have given us.
so was it a good, I mean, template to learn from? I mean,
Yes, sir. It was good, sir.
It was
It
good,
was
sir.
good
Really good.
to compare uh, in
I
this.
mean, if you want, we can also use this for future analysis as well.
sure, sure,
I
definitely.
believe so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So Mankind Pharma's valuation was on the higher side compared to its peers. So the PE ratio stood at 54.1%, like 54.1 times, significantly above the peer. That is average of 37 times. Similarly, its EV by EBITDA of 36.7 times and EV by EBITDA of 42.7 times were well above industry norms.
Okay. So
But
have you heard about these, all these ratios earlier? I mean, any other course? EV to EBITDA, EV to EBIT, price to sales, and PE ratio
Sir, I have done this course. I have done a course previously.
in the
yes, sir,
university or out of the university?
Sir, in this university itself.
Okay, okay, fine. So, and what about you, Chokalingam?
I also did a course, like we
Acha,
both did.
valuations you have
Just
done, valuation course you
help
have
us
done, I
squeeze
think.
out.
Valuation course, this is no, I think some power office there. So valuation you have already, gone through a chapter, subject in your course.
Yes, sir, like some portfolio analysis we have like
Okay,
gone through.
that's a different course. Portfolio analysis and security
Yes.
analysis and portfolio management. Okay, fine. ठीक है, चलो go ahead please.
Yeah, next slide. So, despite its high valuation, Mankind Pharma has a negative growth outlook with earnings declining by 14%. So, in contrast, competitors like Sun Pharma, Aurobindo Pharma, and Lupin were projected to grow by 16% to 29%. So, while Mankind Pharma excels in domestic markets, its limited global exposure and declining earnings pose significant challenges. So, however, there is a potential for growth through international expansion and the launch of innovation products.
Okay.
So Mankind Pharma's IPO reflects market confidence driven by its brand strength and potential for future growth. And however, the company faces challenges such as negative growth, projections, and strong long-term success. Mankind Pharma must address these challenges and actively expand its global footprints. So yeah, coming to next. Okay.
So looking into market sentiment based on subscription rate, the thing is that this was the data which we took from Chitoga. They have a really calculated everything. They've given what the IPO was, how many times the subscription was, and based on this data. So this is the overall data. There's a next page which explains the conclusion as well. Like based on the subscription rate alone, the QIBs, the qualified investors, they have created a really high demand, which is around 49 times subscribed. This indicates like really good interest among mutual funds and also investment companies. And next, looking into retail investors, it has been really low in the point less than one, which is less than one, showing that they are not willing to invest into this IPO particularly because either it may be a fund issue or else the fact that it is highly the IPO is interested into the QIBs because their offer rate alone.
So
They
there is
they
a very less retail participation, isn't it?
yes, sir. Retail participation is really really less. So people who wanted to buy, they weren't able to. Like they could have in retail, in terms of retail investors, they could have, you can easily gotten their shares if
So
they
even
applied for.
they what shares were offered to them, they even I mean got less. You know.
Yes, sir.
So majority of the was the qualified institutional buyers, which actually took the major chunk,
Yes,
and
sir.
followed by the other ones.
The high net worth individuals who wanted to invest.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Then the retail investors came into play.
okay. Go ahead, please. Next.
So then post IPO performance can be, this is first calculated based on the listing day performance. Like Mankind Pharma exceeded market expectation. It was more than 1,200 rupees when it started. Then the trading volume was also really really high on the day. And the daily, even till today, they have a really high demand for stocks of Mankind Pharma. The factors which shows the strong performance is a positive investor sentiment, which was pre-IPO and also right now, and also the favorable view of the pharmaceutical industry growth. And also, business model of Mankind Pharma is unique compared to others what they are offering. Because of that alone, it might have like created a spark of interest among investors to buy this stock.
Okay.
So overall conclusion is that the overall market sentiment is strong and favorable both post and pre. And the first day performance was really really solid, boosting investor confidence, and also future people who want to hold on to the stock, they can still hold on to expect more growth. And also the impact is that for them, they plan was to make more money. The promoters plan, but the
Okay.
thing
Have
is
you
that
captured something
you
like on the first day of listing? Was it trading at a premium? How much premium, or was it trading at a discount?
so it was trading at a premium, but I don't have the data. We haven't had.
So that you could have asked the Chat GPT to give you. So they could have given easily. What was the on the day when they got listed?
It
So
was
what was
like 11 to 12% of premium, sir,
premium? Okay.
over the upper price band.
It was not much because there was a very less public participation. So
Yes.
people were not buying or selling that day. I mean the public was I mean maybe
Public would have had like they weren't willing to invest, but once they saw the performance, they might have planned on buying it
then
as an
only, yeah.
individual
Then
share.
after seeing the company's performance, that the company is doing well, so they might have, I mean, entered
Yes,
into
sir.
the fray. Yeah, but we have to look at how much is the public shareholding. I mean, of course, they have to meet at least I think 25% should be with the public.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yes, sir.
so these people. Okay, so we have to look to that basically figure. How much money the public holds. So that is also available. I mean, okay, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. So coming to the key strengths, so this slide highlights Mankind Pharma's key strengths that drive its leadership in the pharmaceutical sector. So the company generates 92% of its revenue from the Indian market, showcasing a strong domestic focus. So it has consistently outperformed the Indian pharmaceutical market in volume growth. Uh, it
But
was
your slides are basically, very minute, and they should be generally bold. That is always a better way of presenting rather than presenting in a very small script. Okay, so that you should always understand when you are making a presentation. It makes a very good, this thing for the person who is, seeing the presentation. If he can also read and understand. So I think most of your, fonts have been very, very less, small.
Okay, sir.
So that you should take care next time. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. So it was the third largest in sales volume in 2022, and it was the fourth largest in domestic sales in 2022, sir. So additionally, Mankind has a robust portfolio with 23 brands generating over rupees 100 crore. So a fast-growing chronic segment, increasing from 28% in financial year 18 to 36% in 24. So, and market leading consumer healthcare brands. So, next slide. So, coming to competitive landscape. So, when comparing Mankind Pharma to competitors, established players like Sun Pharma,
Okay,
Cipla,
so
and
these are the Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy, Cipla. Okay, just go ahead now. How many slides are there?
So there is, it's a total of 32 slides. We still have around 11 slides left.
Okay, no issues. Then I think it's not much. So we can just skip this one. So I know that these are the these things.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
So next,
Sure, sir.
so wherever I'll feel Mankind Pharma market strategy. Okay, just go ahead with this.
Yes, sir. So, Mankin Pharma has positioned itself as a leader in over-the-counter products like Manforce and Prega News. So, its direct-to-consumer approach has helped build strong brand loyalty across its target audience. So, while competitors focus on expanding globally, Mankind's strategy to dominate Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities aligned with its mission of making healthcare accessible. So, to maintain its edge, the company must explore opportunity in chronic therapies and urban markets. So, next slide. So in conclusion, Mankin Pharma operates in competitive market with leaders such as Sun Pharma and other. So the company focus on affordable healthcare, particularly in Tier 2 and
So
Tier
when you
3
say OTC products, that means basically there you don't require a prescription to get those things, medicines. So they are
yes,
available
over the counter
over the
products.
counter. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next slide, please.
So, looking into risk factors and challenges in the Mankind Pharma IPO, the internal risk which Mankind Pharma faces, that 97% of their revenue came from the domestic market, which is very vulnerable, which makes it vulnerable to Indian economy alone. And second is that the dependency on key products, like the overlines on like their key products like Manforce and Prega News, the risk of demand and supply, like sort of the risk of demand reduction is
So Manforce and Praga are their products, which are OTC products, isn't it? No?
OTC products and also one of the major contributors in their
Okay,
revenue.
okay, okay. So these are what I mean. What kind of medicines they are? What kind of people are using
So
that?
Manforce is pretty much personal hygiene products,
Okay,
and Prega News is a sort of a pregnancy kit,
okay,
pregnancy test kit.
okay,
These are their major products which they sell in India,
okay, okay.
and also a major part of their revenue as well.
Okay, so now I can understand the Manforce is talking about. Okay, fine.
Yeah, the
Go
answer are
ahead.
pretty rich.
Okay, okay. So these are
So
basically
next is the regulatory risk. There one is the fact that their raw material cost and the regulation of drug price as well. They might That's one of the risk which and also they have to be constantly monitored to sorry, they're supposed to be like constantly monitored to maintain quality standards as well, and also their R&D spending is really low. They are not into like producing new medicines, but they are willing to rather produce existing medicines mostly.
okay, fine. So they are not bringing in new kind of this thing. So they are just producing something which is already there.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so it doesn't require any research and development for producing
Yes,
new
so
kind
that's
of.
why. But the low R&D spending is sort of like a risk factor for them because they can see that there's no innovation at all. It's just
Sure,
over the counter product
I can. I agree. Yeah,
contributors.
definitely. Next slide, please.
And also now looking into the external challenges, one is the macroeconomic factors like the economic slowdown and the reduced healthcare spending, and second is currency fluctuation. The event and next looking into there is market volatility like the investor sentiment. As we said, currently it might be really high, but at one point it may randomly drop as well, which is unpredictable most of the time. But it matches with the markets.
So they are heavily relying on some imported raw material. That's why saying currency fluctuations can impact
Yes,
them.
sir. Yes, sir. It's mostly imported as well. Their raw materials are imported as well. That's the main issue.
Okay, okay. Fine. Next
And
slide.
all,
Yeah,
and also pandemic supply
yeah,
chain
yeah.
issues.
I can understand. Yeah. So ownership
So
structure.
looking into the ownership structure, Mankind Pharma's ownership is like reflects a very diverse investor base since the IPO. Looking into the promoter group, they have a significant stake of around 78%, maintaining strong control over the company, even decision as well right now. Institutional investors own a substantial portion of the IPO shares, which was allocated. And institutions like the mutual funds and the international companies and domestic investment investors indicate robust interest in the company. And also, retail investors accounted for a smaller proportion of ownership, which aligns with the relatively high price band of the IPO and the
What was the
modest retail
price band?
subscription.
What was the price band here?
So it was, I think, 1,200 to 1,400.
Thousand plus. Yeah, yeah. I remember. I remember it. Next slide.
Yes. So coming to corporate governance changes. So post IPO, Mankind Pharma strengthened its corporate governance
So
framework. So
just
the
let me see that. That's independent directors and boards and thing. Fine.
Yes.
Transparency and accountability. A publicly listed entity is now subject to SEBI securities regulations. Fine. ESG focus. The company has increased focus on environmental. So, okay, fine. I'm okay with that. Go ahead. Next slide.
Yes, sir. So impact on decision making. So the IPO has significantly impacted Mankind Pharma's governance and decision making. So with independent directors and institutional investors in the mix, there is now greater oversight and alignment with shareholders' interests. So however, this also reduces promoter autonomy. A decision must now be strategic and in line with compliance norm. So this ensures sustainable growth, but requires careful planning to balance innovation and regulatory demands.
Okay. Next.
So looking into financial performance and growth aspects of the company, the historical finance, like they have been, mankind has been able to show us steady revenue growth over the years, which is like they start with increasing from 5,865 crores in the year 2020, as we saw in the previous slides, to around 7,782 before IPO. Until 22, this highlights a really good growth. And however, 23, the 9 month period saw a slight moderation growth, like it was a bit of a slowdown, but still it they were able to like show a great growth, and if this reflects the maintaining high growth post COVID and the profitability margins, the company achieved high profitability with net profit margin reaching up to 21% in 22, and it dropped to 15% in 23 due to the increasing cost, which was post pandemic driven, and also the EBITDA margin shows strong performance during the pandemic as it was
So
26 to
maybe
28.
in 23, the dollar had, I mean, dollar appreciated significantly among all the major currencies in the world. So since, their imports are, I mean, raw materials, so maybe that it has impacted their profitability. Was it?
Even that might also be a reason, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will also be a reason.
Okay. Go ahead with the next slide, please. Yeah.
So next, looking into return metrics. So returns are also ROE and ROC has been
Okay.
also really
Yeah,
strong.
we have
Looking at
discussed that. We have discussed that. So then major acquisitions, yeah.
yes, sir.
Next.
Then after post the IPO, it has reduced to 17 and 15 due to like the pressure.
Yeah.
And looking into major acquisition, they were able to like they bought Panacea Biotech, which was a domestic formulation business for 1,800 crores. Looking into expanding more into the market.
Hmm. Okay.
So the post IPO growth drivers and projection, the market expansion was mostly into like looking into chronic diseases like the cardiovascular disease and diabetic medicine, like the mostly diabetic tablets, because that's
So
one of
you
the
got
major.
this information from where?
So
This
from
particular.
mankind itself, so
Actually, you read the management discussion and analysis report or what?
yes, sir, we studied their annual report and also their investor presentations as well when we did
Okay,
this.
investor presentation. And there is, one report which is there in the annual report, which gives you, regarding their, what is their strategy and how they are going to, how they're going to work on various products or, I mean, verticals. So what is that report called?
Sorry, sir.
What is that report which is there in the annual report where you look for all this information? That's called management discussion and analysis report, where they talk about the future and the past and what is how the economy is shaping up and how the company is going to do. So the management gives a overall view of the company, okay, how
And
they've
it's the
done,
basic
and then
intro of the company.
and the future also they talk about. So read that. So that's very always interesting. Of course, it's always more biased towards the company because it is prepared by the company people, not from
Yes,
an independent source. Okay, fine.
yes, sir.
So aage chalo next.
So like as we were seeing into post IPO growth, like one is the market expansion, looking into like expanding into tier one cities and also their dominance in tier three and tier four markets. And they have collaboration with Novartis for like the cardiovascular drugs and also diabetes drugs,
Okay.
which is Neptas, which shows its commitment to enhancing chronic care offering.
Okay.
And projected growth, like it's optimistic on maintaining their growth, their year on year growth, and also they are really highly optimistic into like even making it grow better than how it was right before 23 and 24, bringing it back to those standards as well. And in conclusion, Mankind Pharma has shown steady growth in revenue and profitability before its IPO. Now, post its IPO, it is still growing, but it has slowed down a lot. And post IPO, they are trying to like aim to expand its presence into urban markets, and also trying to make better acquisitions, which is to their strategic advantage. And overall growth potential would remain strong, and its success would be based on whatever managerial decisions is going to happen, and also how the market is going to act in the future. It might be to their advantage or might be not, which we won't know until time comes.
Sure. So that concludes your presentation. Yeah, the overall listing is there. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the overall conclusion.
So to conclude, Mankind Pharma's IPO has set a benchmark in the pharmaceutical sector. So it has shown a strong institutional demand, high market valuations, and increased visibility for the company. So while the IPO enhances liquidity and strengthens its market position, Mankind Pharma must address challenges like limited global exposures and declining earnings growth due to sustain long-term success. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, sir.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Okay. Good. Thank you so much. It was a good presentation. Fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Then,
I
so
mean,
you're taking
except
a
for the
flight
slight
tomorrow.
hiccups from our
Huh?
side, sorry.
What happened?
Except for some of the slight hiccups, it went well.
No, no, it was okay. Only the thing which I noticed was that that the overall font size of your presentation was not bold enough. So that
Yes,
was
sir.
the
Understood.
thing, and I think it captured all your questions which I have raised in the take-home paper. So it was covering
Yes, sir.
everything. Overall, it was a good presentation. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
So you are going to Chennai now. Chennai or which place? Tamil Nadu.
Salem, sir.
Salem.
Same.
Salem. Both of you.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So ठीक है. So you are. This was the last year.
No, sir.
No,
We
we still have
are.
one more year left.
One more year. So next time I'm going to teach, I think, one subject which is taxation, GST, goods and
Yes, sir.
services.
We are planning on taking it.
Okay. So see you then next
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
next
Next
year.
session we'll see,
Meet you
sir.
there. Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.